kids come up, join me in singing our kids song. This is where children belong. Welcome this part of our worshiping throng. Water, God's word, bread and cup, prayer and song. This is where children belong. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Okay, I already know the answer to this. Have you ever been sad? Yes. How did I already know the answer to that? Because we're human, right? And if you're human, you've probably felt sad or mad or frustrated or happy or excited because you're a human being. Let me check. Yep, you feel human to me. I think you are. What would be something that has made you sad? You don't have to share if you don't want to, but what's something that has made you sad? Your parents breaking up. That is so sad. That would be heartbreaking. Anything else has made you sad before? Sometimes it's little things. That's a big thing, but sometimes there's smaller things. You're not adopted. That would make me sad too. Man, we got some heavy stuff that's made you guys sad. What about, have you been sad because someone you loved or maybe a pet you loved? Yes, you've had pets you loved or someone you loved has died. Oh, yes.
My dog Kilo and my grandma.
Oh, that is so sad when someone we love passes away. How did people know you were sad? What's a sign that you do that people know you're sad? Is it jumping and skipping and smiling?
It's
Crying. Yes, kind of withdrawing from people, being kind of quiet.
Just
Drawing pictures that were, yeah. I mean, we know we're sad when we're crying and kind of down. So in today's scripture story, we hear a story about how Jesus, his friend Lazarus, dies. And I bet Lazarus was his buddy. And if you lost one of your buddies, man, I bet you'd be sad, wouldn't you? And here's what Jesus does. First off, he's sad. Then Jesus cries. Then Jesus prays. And then, with God's help, he raises Lazarus from the dead. Well, there's a lot of stuff that happens there. Well, here's some things that we can learn from that story. First off, his crying, his sadness was not the end of the story. Your sadness is not the end of your story. He was sad, he cried, he prayed, Lazarus was raised from the dead. The sadness was not the end of the story. Jesus invited God into all his sadness and all his feelings, and his sadness was then erased. Now, here's something that we can learn from this story. When we're sad, we can be sad and we can cry. Totally normal. We can also invite God into our sadness. And when we invite God into our sadness, he comforts us and brings us back to life. He gives us new life when we invite him into all our sadness. And when we're invited and we're brought back to life, we then share that brightness and that life with other people. So that's something that we can learn. That's one thing we can learn from that story. We're actually going to go upstairs. We're going to talk about some other things that we can learn from that story. Are you guys ready? Let's head out.